Real bosses write checks. Being a business owner is not all about making money. It's actually about spending money, spending a lot of money, but doing so in a strategic way. All money making, in some ways, begins with money spending. To understand how to make money, you first must understand how to spend money. You need to understand that spending money is okay when done strategically. Not random pay and then just pray that it works style spending, but planned, meticulous, and strategic spending. This concept is a challenge for many new dentists to wrap their minds around, simply because they're coming from kind of a unique spot. For many, but not all, dental new grads, their first real jobs in life is when they're getting out of school and they're a dentist. The first real job they've ever had, despite being, coming up on age 30 if you're a specialist. The new grad has also kind of had maybe some bad habits established, because for the last, dental school undergrad 8 years, last almost decade, the typical new grad has been living off monopoly money, aka student loan money, and things kind of aren't real the same way they are in postgraduate reality. Okay. And also the new grad has been living like a broke student for a long time and may have a limited financial scope that will, really come into play when they're running a dental business that can be worth $1 million or multiple $1 million. You've been a broke dental student for so long, so it may, unless you have like a family background that's helped you establish this or excellent mentors, it can be hard to wrap your mind around some of the costs and expenses that are necessary to invest in your career as a dentist going forward. When you are the employee, you are only on the end of the relationship in which you receive checks. You're only on the end of the relationship where you're receiving payment, okay? When you are an employer, you are on the end of the relationship where you are often the one writing checks, where you are often the one giving out money, not receiving money. Many times when you're an employee, the checks come to you. When you're the employer, the checks go out to others, okay? Once you take on the role of a practice owner, if that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna see a lot of money going out the door. You're gonna see a lot more money going out the door than many of you have personally ever had control of in your life. Again, unless you're coming from a family background that's really well off or was able to expose you to significant business experience. And you just have to know that it leads to something, but you won't know for sure it leads to something unless you have like a rock solid financial plan and a vision for that money that you believe in. And even then, there's large amounts of uncertainty that's just inherent in being a business owner. Once you take on the role of being a practice owner, let me tell you something. Everybody is going to want money from you. Your vendors will want money from you. Your employees will want money from you. Salesmen will want money from you. Coaches will want money from you. Marketers will want money from you. Web designers, schools, churches, your labs, the cable company, your supply company, the city, the government. Everyone will want money from you, okay? Everyone around you will want you to give them money. But that is not necessarily a bad thing. You need to spend this money. You need to give a lot of people this money. Your employees will not work for you if you do not give them money. Your contractor will not work for you. Your lights will not stay on unless you are giving people money, okay? But you need to do so strategically with a plan. You see, some of the people who are going to want money from you are going to help your business. Some of the people who want money from you are going to hurt your business. Do you know the difference? Without a plan and without knowing the key players and the people who to trust and who you need on your team, you will be throwing money down the drain. So you need to educate yourself now as early as possible so you know where are the right places and who are the right people to spend the money with. Now that you're a practice owner, you are the end decision maker for where the money of the practice flows. It's not a bad thing that everyone wants money from you. However, you must be able to discriminate smart and necessary expenditures and investments from ill-advised and wasteful expenditures. This is a huge job with you being basically the CEO of your dental office, okay? You also cannot fall into shock when you get hit with a big bill, because they happen all the time, okay? Big bills are going to arrive at your doorstep. When things cost a lot, don't freak out, okay? Again, not too long ago, as a dental student, your budget decisions were to decide if you wanted to spend your Monopoly loan money on pizza or ramen noodles for dinner. And now things cost thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight, okay? If you're going to be a practice owner, you are going to be writing checks at times when your business isn't currently generating any dollars. You might even be writing some checks out of your own personal pocket when you first get started, not even the business account, just your own personal savings. Or in my case, student loan money, because I started my practice startup process when I was still in school and I didn't have an income, so I was using student loan money to handle some of the early expenses associated with getting my office open. Because you guys know I did that as like a D4. But I never thought that a lot of expenses you don't think about. When the ball really gets going, you say, okay, I know that buying a panoramic machine is going to cost a lot of money. I know that these materials cost a lot of money. But when you're first getting started, you're going to be blown away by the things that are expenses. Like I never thought that, like, when I needed a tree cut down, it was a giant cottonwood tree, huge, okay, with big branches like right over my building, right over the power lines. And it was old and creaky and branches were falling off. It had to come down. I never thought that I would get quotes between $3,000 up to $9,000 just to take down a tree. That was crazy to me. When I was starting my practice, I didn't have access to the funds for my startup loan yet. I was approved for it, but I didn't have access to the funds yet, pre-approved for it. So I was just using my own savings. Like, I went into my own savings, wrote a check for thousands of dollars to buy a digital pan, and then I put it in storage until I was ready for it. I had to pay an SBA fee for a loan, which was $4,000 just out of my savings. And as being my first year out of school, that was a lot, okay? And at the time that I wrote these checks, and I remember my contractor too, I had to give him, it's either $5,000 or $10,000, like, as a goodwill deposit for him to start building my practice. And again, at that time, that was a lot of money for me. And at the time I wrote those checks, I had no guarantee that my business would even be successful. I wasn't even open yet, okay? There was no guarantee that my business would be successful other than a firm, rock-solid belief in my business plan and full confidence that I had a systemized approach to my startup and business strategies that were going to lead me to success. And they were business strategies that I spent a lot of time refining and hoped that, and luckily was proven right, but I hoped that would carry me through this. And I just had faith in the fact that I had prepared myself well enough. It would have been easy to be scared. It would have been easy to be intimidated by all of the money going out when I was first getting started. But it also would have been easy to not prepare so much prior to starting this process. And I guess if I took the easy way back then, all of this would be a whole lot harder than it is now. So, real bosses write checks. Sometimes there's money going out. If you just want the money going in, employee. So which way are you going to take? Kaizen, keep getting a little bit better every single day. If you like my videos and content, please invite other dentists, dental student friends to join the Facebook group. Also, check out practicebiopsy.com for some more cool content.